Welcome to Paranormal Partners. Today, you're with Eric.
And Jade, as always.
And?
I'm Tyler.
Look at Tyler talking to the microphone.
Oh.
I'm Tyler. Hi, guys.
I mean, you're supposed to talk to the microphone, but we also film for YouTube, so I just thought it was funny that he waved to the microphone.
Hi, guys. Hi, viewers.
Hi, viewers.
So, if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to be confused about the camera angle. Our camera is really low on battery, so it's going to be plugged into the wall right now.
Yeah.
It's broken, so we had to do it. Next week it will be fixed. I promise you that. So, sorry for the weird angle. And if you know what, if you like it, let us know, and we might do a
because I know my face is going to look really, fat from that angle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have
excuses. So, Tyler is, oops, unplugged my laptop. So, Tyler is, a dweeb, I guess. No, I'm kidding. Tyler's kind of into the paranormal. We've been friends for, 7 years? Probably, 7 years now.
7th grade.
Yeah, so, 7 years. We've always been super...
Wait, are you into the paranormal? At all?
We've been
I
into...
was back in high school, but then I just haven't had much of a social life, so I just don't leave my house.
Yeah.
So my ghost in the basement...
I was going to say, your brother told me that you guys had a ghost once.
Yep. No, Tyler and I would always watch horror movies. We would go...
In the basement? In the haunted basement?
In Eric's basement.
Eric's haunted basement, yeah.
Yeah. That's when we first started filming this podcast, we would film from the basement. And
yep.
Things would happen all the time while we were recording. And when we were not recording as well.
Yeah.
Pretty creepy. But...
Yeah, so that's Tyler.
Wait, Tyler, you should tell us your ghost story.
About, my basement?
Yeah. Do you want to tell it first, or do you want to tell it after we talk about it?
Tell it first.
Alright, I'll tell it now.
Okay.
So, essentially, there's some kind of older guy, and he'll move my weights downstairs sometimes, too. I'll hear them being picked up and dropped back down.
Swole.
While you're down there, or, usually when you're upstairs?
When I was down there in the basement, I had my room down there.
Okay.
You could hear it in the other room.
Ooh.
Ugh.
But then, when my mom and dad were sleeping down there, my mom woke up and just saw somebody standing at the end of her bed one time.
Really?
Oh, that was me.
Eric!
I was just visiting your house. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I thought you were living down there still, and I'm like, oosh, it's their parents. Yikes, that's awkward.
Then he must be a strong ghost if he lifts your weights and moves them.
Yeah.
It was just the little metal bars that I
But
had.
you think he's an old man?
Well, not an older, he's maybe 40s.
Okay.
So basically dead. Ancient.
Well, I mean, he is dead, so...
Yeah, so yeah.
Oh, he could be a time traveler. Who knows? Or an alien. Or caught
Have you
between
ever
dimensions.
considered the idea that it's you?
And I just sleepwalk.
No.
It's you in the future.
And you died, and it's your time traveling dead ghost, and you die in your 40s.
And you're trying to tell your young self, not to do something, hey...
Stop lifting weights, bro.
Stop going to the daycare.
Stop.
Stop working at the daycare.
Stop playing video games and come work out.
That could be a big one.
Oh,
yeah,
he's
it's probably
moving the
telling
weights.
you to.
He's loading the racks for you.
He's getting alright, you can bench this much. Let's go.
Man, I'd hate it if my ghost from the future came back and it's just nagging me. It's like, hey, dude, come on, clean the room. I'm like,
yeah, he just throws underwear at me.
Can you stop? I'm trying to die.
Yeah. Yeah, I know your brother told us a little bit about the ghost in your basement.
Yeah.
I can't remember now what else he said, though.
Well, they named it Alfred.
Oh.
Yep.
Nice.
We don't know his real name.
Do you know if he, died in the house, or do you know anything if there's, an actual death there?
We don't
or anything?
think there's an actual death there, but...
Tyler, remind me later. I'm actually doing an internship, or going to be doing an internship with the Historic Preservation Office for the city of Nebraska. And basically what they do is look up, they'll get calls from people that want to know more information about their house. Usually
is this house haunted? Yeah, I'm in the basement and I see an old lady. Did she die here?
I know some tips and tricks on trying to find out history of a home. So I will maybe look into that if you guys are interested in knowing, see if there actually was a person,
That'd be
a death there.
interesting to know.
Yeah. So, on that note, would you like to tell your ghost story first?
Sure.
Or shall I too?
Sure. Another thing is we went to the Museum of Shadows.
Oh, I almost forgot something. Okay, you go. You go.
Oh, was it about Museum of Shadows?
Well, no. It's about, I know what we're doing our next episode on because I decided it.
Okay, tell me.
Phantoms of the Opera. I went and saw Phantom of the Opera, the music, or the what is it? Is it a musical? It's an opera.
It's an opera.
But it was Broadway, so that's why I wanted to say, like, is it a musical? It's, like, produced by the same people who do Broadway.
I don't know.
Like, Broadway musicals. I don't know. All I know is it was freaking awesome, and now I really like the Phantom of the Opera, and so to pay homage to that, I think we should do an episode on haunted operas.
That's fair. I respect
Or something
that.
to do with the Phantom of the Opera.
Yes. So, Museum of Shadows.
Back to the Museum of Shadows, which this was our third time going.
The third time.
Have you ever been?
Nope.
Have you heard of it?
Just from Trey mentioning that he was supposed to go with Eric, but then I took Eric today, so.
Yeah, the Museum of Shadows is, it's in Plattsmouth,
Yep.
Nebraska, and it's just a museum of haunted artifacts. It's pretty crazy. There's, like, deaths that have happened there, too. It used to be an old brothel.
Oh.
There's also in the basement, they have it sealed up, but there was tunnels that go, like, under the whole town, and one of the places it led to was the brothel, so you can't go in it, but you can see the entrance to the underground tunnels down there. It's pretty cool. Upstairs they were doing some x-rays of the walls, and they actually found a crawl space that it has Victorian era wallpaper.
It's pretty cool.
It's really cool. It's like all falling down. It's like you can tell it's really old, but that was really, really, really cool. It's spooky.
So when I went there this time,
yeah, we went there.
No experiences, I don't think.
Right before Halloween, was it?
I think that was that our fourth time going?
Third, we went. Me, you, and Maricel when we did the sit challenge with Demas, one of their most haunted dolls.
I don't think we had anything happen there.
And then the last time, I know we were standing by Ada, which is their, like, main attraction, and she's supposedly getting her, like, own movie. She might even have one already on Amazon Prime or something. But I know I felt like I was just standing there, and I felt something, like, touch my knees, or, like, something was kind of making a tingly feeling on my knees. So I kind of felt like Ada is said to be the ghost of a little girl that haunts this doll. And so I kind of felt like maybe Ada was, like, there. But aside from that, our friend Kyle had something happen in there.
I can't remember.
He said he felt like something was pulling at the back of his coat on his back, like touching his back.
Whenever you go to James Arthur Vineyards, I get really bad vibes from there.
Yeah, we just had our last James Arthur Vineyard ghost tour last night.
There's some pretty intense stuff that happens there.
Yeah, I don't want to give it away because I want you guys to go on our tours if you're from the area, but... I know.
Another thing is, I don't know if I've ever told my story on here about Hell's Gate. Have I?
I don't know.
If I haven't, I really should because it's a crazy story. But we'll get to that another time.
Yeah.
Let me get into my story.
Yes.
Am I going crazy? What happened to my dog? What? So, I was hanging out with Velma, and... all of a sudden, my dog Scooby actually disappeared.
Wow, you're very funny.
And so my buddy Frank was looking through a bunch of doors, and he'd go in one, and he'd come out another. And so, what's going on?
For a second, I actually thought you were being serious. I was like, Velma, like, you don't hear that name very often. That's pretty cool. And then you said Scooby.
The plot of Scooby-Doo?
Yes, yes. Also, shout out the Witch Sisters, I believe. Hex Sisters.
The Hex Girls.
Hex Girls, that's right.
Wow, you're
good
gonna
show.
pretend like you know Scooby-Doo, but
I'm not a religious or spiritual person per se. I believe there's usually a logical explanation for weird things that happen to us. But this messes with my head and makes me seriously question my own sanity. If there are people out there who have experienced something similar, I'd love them to get in contact with me. Or just anyone who might have an explanation.
All right, I'm ready to give this person closure. in an explanation. So
Yeah. Yep.
hit me with it.
You're crazy.
Hit me with it.
So I had a dog when I was a kid. He was a black shepherd type breed. Called him Kaam.
Kaam.
Kaam here, Kaam. I remember walking this dog, playing with him, feeding him, and even taking him to the vet. He often slept in my room, chewed on my stuffed animals, and would sometimes wake me up with his snoring.
So basically every dog everywhere.
Yep. One time he bit me real hard on the ankle after I tried to break up a fight with another dog. It left a pretty big scar.
Aww.
Needed stitches and a shot afterwards. Countless memories for years and years.
Aww.
So, much later on, I would try to recount some of these memories with the other members of my family. Not a single person knew of this dog. Our family never even owned a dog. We were a cat family. None of our neighbors or friends owned a dog fitting the description.
Wait. How old did she say, or she or he? How old did they say? Or did they not say how old they were?
It just said childhood.
Interesting.
I couldn't believe it at first and went searching for proof. Pictures, old toys, anything. I found nothing, not a thing. Even though I remember taking pictures with this dog, not just me, but the rest of the family. There were no toys, even the stuffed animals he used to chew on didn't exist, even though I actually have separate memories about some of those plushies as well.
How can you go to the doctor and get a shot and stitches and like nobody in your family remember that?
This reminds me of ReZero.
What's that?
It's an anime.
Yep, of course.
Really?
So later on in the episode, there's this creature. I'm not gonna give away too much. But if you get hit by the fog that it makes, you're wiped away from existence. No one can remember you.
Oh.
It made me think the government was gaslighting this person.
It made me think that this person's having memories of a past life, and they think that it's this life, but it's getting confused because it's a past life.
So,
I think we all have very viable theories.
No, I don't think mine's very viable.
I like yours. It's like the movie. Isn't there a movie called The Mist or The Fog or something? Like a scary movie?
There's
Where
one. There's
anything
an
that touches it is-
There's an iCarly one called The Blowing, and it was just like wind, and they'd be like, "Ooh."
I
Remember?
think that was supposed
You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. I just got
Tyler
rejected hard
remembers.
style on that high five, so I'm gonna
I
give it
don't
to
remember
myself.
that.
You know what I'm talking about.
iCarly was the best.
I remember the one iCarly thing I actually remember was the one where they had Fred Figglehorn as the guest. And he's like, "Oh my god, cabbages!" And they took a bath in cabbages.
Yeah.
And then the other was the iCarly movie. It was so good. It was like iCarly goes to Japan and they went for that web show awards.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? There was this part in iCarly where they had to jump out of an airplane and the mom smacked the ground. And my brother and I used to like rewind it and replay that part like over and over and over again because it was so funny. Like, I don't know how they filmed that, but man, it really looks like she smacks so hard. Okay, I'm done talking about iCarly. Go ahead. Resume.
Hobknocker.
Okay.
So, I can't explain it. The memories of my dog, Kaam, are still very real, but there's no proof he ever existed. I don't believe he was imaginary. Imaginary friends weren't my thing as a kid, to be honest. And I always suspected the dog liked my sister more than me. What kind of kid imagines a friendship like that? I've heard people say that the dog died at some point and my family lied about it to protect me. But I'm convinced that's not the case.
No. Why would, now that they're an adult?
Yeah. Sparing feelings isn't really a thing in our family, and they know how much this thing really messes me up. I remember exactly what Kaam looks like, the sound of him barking, the color of his eyes, the hanging tip of his right ear, the shininess fur after I brushed him. I remember the time we took him to the vet because of a busted nose after fighting our cat. And I remember him dressing up on my 8th birthday to match my own outfit. I remember taking him to my room to sleep next to me after I watched a scary movie, and I remember my sister once shaving his tail and legs because she wanted to turn him into a poodle. but I don't remember what happened to him. I don't remember him dying. I don't even remember missing him at some point. I just kind of forgot, and it makes me sad. If Kaam was never real, where did all those memories come from?
I'm saying it has to be a past life. I really do.
So some of the comments, one of them is, I lost it, but they're saying the black dog of England is said to be like an evil dog.
It's an omen.
Yeah.
The black dog is
But
like
that's different, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like the black dog wouldn't last with you for 8 years and like be your homie.
Yeah, the black black dog in England is like black cats to us here. It's like something that just passes by, you see it, and it's like, oh.
And you're like, no.
Yeah. No, I personally think it had to be like a past life kind of thing.
So I think there's some possible ones. People are saying like alternate realities, like different, like if there's different, like alternate realities if they crossed over.
Did that person ever have any like traumatic like brain damage or like have an accident or something?
I wonder if they were like they had something messed up happen to them as a kid and they don't want to remember it and they cover it up with that story.
Repressed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the most realistic thing I could think of.
But that's pretty crazy that they remember like such specific things. Like
the mind is crazy powerful.
Going to the doctor, I'd go to my doctor and ask if they have records of me like getting stitches, because doctors like actually have everything. They can see everything that you've ever done.
I think the stitches, he could have been bit by a dog, but I don't think it was his.
You don't think so?
No, I mean, he could have been bit by any dog. Because he said it was a dog fight, so it would be 2 dogs in the first place.
Aww.
And so he would be bitten by another dog, and he'd just be like, oh, my dog was fighting that dog.
Yeah. What do you think, Tyler?
I don't know. It's all kind of weird. Like, okay. Well, I'm thinking, like, maybe it was some kind of guidance that's like showed up in his life, and that's how he remembers it.
It could be like a
like an angel
or there's another word for it. Spirit guide. Guide.
It's his Patronus.
There's a lot of people that like say that they have seen their spirit guide or they feel their spirit guide and they can tell when they're around, and like they can take on different forms. So that could be one.
It's like his way of interpreting that feeling
into a dog or a companion. Oh, that's so sad. Well, this was not planned, but my story is also about a dog.
Interesting.
Kind of.
Is it Kaam?
It's not about Kaam.
Or so we think.
Anyway, so my title of my story is called Creature Sighting, and it says, so I was around 14 years old when this took place. We had just moved to my grandmother's neighborhood like 3 weeks prior. I was extremely familiar with this place as I'd visited them every weekend. Down the road a bit was a small pond that was in the middle of the next neighborhood over. I would regularly go down there to fish as my dad's friend owned the property on the pond. A little gazebo that protruded out into the water a little bit. He lived right near the small dam at the end of the lake. The dam was about 8 feet high, and on the side that wasn't facing the lake, there was a 50-foot concrete slope that went into the woods below. So I have to give you a lot of backstory.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah, I have to give you a lot of backstory so you can understand, like, it'll all make sense why I'm telling you all this random information. So yeah, imagine a dam, 8 foot high in concrete, and then the back just slopes like this for about 50 feet out into the woods.
That'd be so crazy to see.
It's weird.
It's not like a crazy structure. Like, I'm not trying to overhype something very basic, but I'm just like, imagine if that's in your area and you can just explore the woods. I don't know. It's just a weird scenery to picture.
It'd be kind of nice, but at the same time creepy because
just because it's so weird.
I always think woods are creepy, but also beautiful. I don't know. Love-hate relationship. But anyway, it says, it was a Friday night in January, and me being the avid fisherman I was getting ready for a trip down there the next morning. I went to bed kind of early with my dog and fishing buddy, Angel. She's a Jack Russell Rat Terrier mix. I used to have a Jack Russell Rat Terrier mix. He got hit by a car, though.
Oh.
I've never seen his ghost, sadly. But he was only a puppy. He was only 1. Isn't that really sad?
It's so sad.
Okay, back to the story.
I have a Jack Russell Terrier mix.
You had one too?
I have one right now.
Oh, you do? I love them. They're so sweet and they have so much energy. It's crazy.
Oh, he's so wild.
So it says, I had her since I was 6 years old. Man's best friend for sure. Once we got in bed, I couldn't sleep for some reason. I just tossed and turned. I finally dozed off for about an hour but woke up for no apparent reason and I couldn't go back to sleep. I looked at my phone. It was about 1:30 in the morning. And after a short thought, I decided to just go down to the pond and start fishing. I grabbed my fishing pole, tackle box, my thermos, and Angel's leash when we started walking down to the pond. Now, it says you might think I'm crazy for going fishing in 20 degrees Fahrenheit, but I was really into fishing. Yeah, there's not anything you could get me to do in 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't even want to walk to my car.
What about sit in a hot spring?
No, I don't think so. I think it'd still be too cold for me.
For $1 billion.
Okay, then I would. It says, besides, I was having great luck fishing down there at night recently, so I had to go push my luck. It was a short walk to get to the lake, but I had to walk around it to the far side where I fished, which was another half mile or so. It was really foggy that night, but I could see pretty well still since it was a full or almost full moon that night. So, perfect horror movie setting. Foggy, full moon, or almost full moon. And it was extremely quiet. Usually the road I was walking on is very busy at all hours, but it was too cold for anybody to be out.
I mean, they're in cars, though.
Well,
what does that even mean?
We made it to my dad's friend's house, and we walked down to the gazebo. I sit my things down and take a drink of hot chocolate before I start getting my line ready for water. Aw, so cozy. Angel found a small place in between the wooden benches to lay down. Now, this next part may seem unimportant, but just bear with me. Once I got my fishing pole rigged up, I cast it out and sat it down for a wait for a bite. My fishing reel has a setting to where if a fish rungs on the line, it makes a very loud, that's my clicking noise. I don't know what a sound a reel makes. Yeah, that. It makes that noise to let you know that you have a bite. That's the setting I put it to, and I sit it down and take a look around. It was about 2:30 in the morning at this point, and I look over to the left at the houses. Then I look to the right towards the dam, which was about 40 feet from where I was. It was still very quiet, and I continued to look around the area, just taking in the moonlit water. Then, suddenly...
Don't turn that fast.
I see something out of the corner of my eye to my right. There by the dam, I see a white blob walking on all fours.
Tyler, get back. Put your clothes on.
Looking as if it's smelling the ground.
Yep, Tyler.
It looked like a white dog from where I was, and I didn't want Angel to see it, so I picked up her leash and kept an eye on the thing. At this point, I still thought it was a dog, and I wasn't scared in the least bit. But then as it made its way to the wall of the dam, it stood up on 2 legs, and then I realized that it was not a dog.
Yep. Run, run, run. Run, run, run.
Although dogs...
Run, run.
Is that your horror movie, horror cheer?
Yeah, it is.
How to hide your own fears.
No, that's exactly what I do in horror movies. Everyone's like, it's the most intense movie, like the nun's right behind her, and I'm just doing that in the back. Run, and everyone in the theater's like, can you shut up?
Some dogs can stand on 2 legs, though. Just saying.
Yeah, they're called bears.
Bigger dogs. It's not a polar bear, it's a big white dog. So, it says, I crashed down beside the wooden bench where Angel was lying, grabbed her up and faced her away from the creature.
Take her!
No, he's hiding his little baby. The thing didn't see me, and I was going to do my damnedest to make sure it never did. I intensively watched it as it looked around the area, and then proceeded to jump up onto the 8-foot-tall dam effortlessly. So now this thing in my mind is looking more like King Kong, like... jumps up.
I just picture a Wendigo from Until Dawn.
Yeah, true.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Then it did something strange. Its pale white skin started glowing, almost like a firefly. I could see the bluish-colored veins in its back and calf muscles, and this thoroughly freaked me out. Which, my question is, if you're 40 feet away, would you be able to see that? But I guess if it's, like, really glowing, you probably could. I don't know.
40 feet? Yeah, you probably could. I mean,
you probably could, depending on
you'd
how bright
probably
it was.
be looking at it pretty hard.
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, when you remember that stuff, it's always more like you add to it a little bit.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know.
It says, then it turned around to where I could see its face. It was about 3.5 feet tall and had a short torso, so it's not very big.
That thing scared me.
Long, skinny legs and arms, a wide head, almost oval-shaped, large ears, a large mouth with many small teeth and huge eyes that were yellowish orange in color. It kind of sounds like I'm imagining like a gorilla in my head, but that's just me. Yeah.
Okay.
On top of that, it was glowing in all caps.
Oh my gosh.
Glowing.
Did he wear the new James Charles makeup?
Oh.
Is that why he was glowing?
Oh my god, girl, you're glowing.
I'm glowing.
Oh, that's such a glow up, dude.
Glow up.
I was nearly hyperventilating, trying to control my breathing, hoping that the thing wouldn't hear me. Angel was now aware of its presence, and the hair on her neck stood up as she started growling and struggling to get out of my arms. I kept watching it, terrified to move. Also, can we just acknowledge how, like, fearless dogs are?
Yeah.
There's some dogs that, like, put their tail between their legs and run, like Chester.
Chester, if you do...
Oh,
Chester's, like...
He freaks out. Taking him for a walk around the 4th of July is, like, miserable.
Timber could care less about anything.
Timber doesn't care. Timber's pretty...
Tough.
Pretty tough, yeah. So, I keep watching it, terrified to move. It didn't do anything when it got up on top of the dam. It just squatted down and looked as though it was examining something in its hands. After a few minutes of watching it, I'd worked up the idea to just go back the way I came, and once I got to the road, just run as fast as I can home. Angel was growling, increasingly aggressive, and trying to see the creature, and I kept her buried in my big winter jacket the best I could. I decided to just leave my stuff there and come back and get it the next day. That's smart. That is a smart man.
That's a non-horror movie choice.
I slowly stood up, and just as I was about to start walking away from the gazebo, my fishing pole started making that very loud mound.
He's like, wait, I gotta go back.
Sound. Of all the times, now I get a fish to bite. My attention went straight back to the creature, which was now frantically looking around for the source of the noise. In my panic, I forgot to keep Angel covered up, and she saw the creature for the first time. She started barking like I'd never heard her bark before, as if she was in terror or something, and that scared me. The creature then saw us there, and it bent down as if it were about to start running towards us. Oof. I tried to take a step back and started running, but I slipped on the cold, hard ground. I landed on my side and looked at the creature. Thankfully, it hadn't started to chase us, but it let out the most disturbing scream I've ever heard. It sounded like a woman screaming, but backwards, if that makes sense. Yeah, probably. That's actually pretty good. I don't know. It then jumped from the dam into the woods about 100 feet away and faded as it landed. I was in tears now, and my fight or flight kicked in. I grabbed Angel and I ran as fast as I could all the way up to my door at my house, too afraid to look back to see if it was behind me. I got home and didn't really remember what happened till the next day. I must have passed out or something. I remember it seeming like a dream, but the next day I went to go get my gear from the gazebo and it was still there. I don't go back to the pond even during the day I didn't go back to the pond even during the day for a few years, and I told my mom and dad the story months later, and while they believed me, I still wonder what the creature was. What do you guys think?
I think I would move out.
Well, I mean, I looked up some things about what this creature could possibly be, and...
It's a Wendigo.
Well, it could be a Wendigo. In my mind, I kept seeing, like, a gorilla-like creature. I don't know why. Like, look, think of oval head, like... But it's only 3.5 feet tall, so, like, maybe, like, a monkey?
Well, I feel like a Wendigo would be bigger than that, don't you?
Yeah, most of the time they're portrayed as, like, tall giants.
Yeah. So I looked up, one of the things I came across was the rake that we were talking about a little bit. Someone said that it kind of sounds like a rake, which is this creature.
That makes sense because there's a lot of leaves in a forest, so they need to be raked up.
Wow, that was such a terrible joke. That
I got a laugh from Tyler.
Tyler will laugh at anything. That's not much of an accomplishment.
Oh yeah, tell him a joke.
I don't have any jokes.
Exactly.
But so the rake first appeared around in 2003. There was this video that came from. It started in Canada, of where this girl was apparently filming. There was a moose on the side of the road that was grazing or something.
I'm not even gonna make that dumb of a joke. I was gonna say, was it chocolate or was it vanilla? Get
Is
it,
there
Tyler?
such a thing
Chocolate
as
or vanilla mousse? Like the
Mousse, the dessert.
guava
See?
juice?
Tyler's trying not to laugh because I said he'll laugh at everything.
He's trying so hard. We need Tyler.
A good joke.
We should hire Tyler as just canned laughter.
I'll be the laugh track.
Audience laughter. Yeah, so the rake first appeared in 2003 in that video. It went viral, but it looks like this creature who's... Have you ever done a bridge up before?
Yep.
Do you know what that is?
I tried to the other day.
Basically, you lay on your back and you like put your hands behind you and you push up. It looks like it's like in that position, like its hands and feet are backwards, and its head is right side up. So if you imagine doing a bridge up and like your head was the other way.
So like the horror movie kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of since it went viral, it's become since then like a creepy pasta thread. It's become like there's movies based off of it and like some really, really creepy like animated versions of it. But that's one thing I thought that maybe this person saw was probably like could be a rake. The weird thing is though, it says that it disappeared.
Could it be a leaf blower?
Eric. Sometimes I just get tired of your dumb jokes.
That means they're even better.
Which
no, I don't know. I really could see it being the rake.
My other thought, I don't know where this person is from, but I looked up the Dover Devil, which
I was thinking it could be like one of those.
It's also kind of described as like a dog-looking kind of creature, but it has like almost not tentacles, but like long fingers. Like they kind of look like tentacles, but not really. And some people have said that it kind of looks like a baby. Some people who have cited seeing the Dover Devil said, "Oh, it's like a moose-looking creature." Same with the rake, like a deer or something like that. But like, no. Other people have said that it could be a gray, an alien.
I was thinking that, especially the glowing
and the fact that
height.
It disappeared.
The height.
I want to know like the disappearing part, like what could possibly do that. But then at the same time, I totally believe in Bigfoot. I don't know if you know this, but there are some actually Native American tribes that Bigfoot is like a huge part of their culture. Like
I semi-believe.
It's a belief in their culture. Like there's these different pillars that represent like respect, loyalty, like things that you should instill in like values.
Bigfoot is truth.
And Bigfoot represents one of them. They don't call it Bigfoot, but a creature that's essentially
maybe
Bigfoot.
They don't value truth, and so they made up a creature that doesn't exist.
Eric.
To represent it. I'm serious, that makes sense.
Yeah, well, anyway,
maybe it's like a symbol, like truth exists only as much as you believe in it.
So
maybe it could be, but just there's a lot of people that have said they've seen Bigfoot or they've seen these creatures, and like
I agree. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt.
I think one of the best theories out there is that somehow they're able to slip between time or slip between realities, because if it was there, I promise you we'd probably have found it by now.
Oh, for sure.
If it was an ocean thing, I could understand, because the ocean is so like deep and vast, and like it's like impossible to know what's in the ocean.
Yeah.
At least any time in our lifetime. But like with the forests and stuff, like I feel like we would have to have like at least found a dead one, you know?
And that brings me up to a final point I'd like to make. If someone brings up something to you, even if it's a Bigfoot, something that seems really far-fetched, what's it going to hurt you to believe? I feel like you've seen it time and time again in horror movies, that if you don't believe in you're gonna get killed, people. You gotta give them the benefit of the doubt.
You gotta run the first time they tell you to run.
Yeah.
You know?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's my stories.
Any comments, Tyler?
I'm still trying to wonder what a gray is.
It's an alien.
They're just
Okay.
aliens.
Oval shaped
Aliens.
head. You know that peace. Take me
They're
to
like
your leader.
literally your stereotypical alien,
So like Paul,
like.
Yes, like Paul.
I don't know who
Exactly.
that is,
where he
but
can hold his breath and he goes invisible.
just skinny, blobbish looking gray beings,
I'm back.
basically. So, yeah, I don't know. I think alien is a good choice.
I believe it's an alien based off of
It's
that
kind of
story.
weird though. What would an alien be doing, just like looking at something in its palm on top of a dam in the middle of the night?
Studying fish.
Studying, exactly.
Studying?
Yeah.
Studying, yeah.
I feel like they'd have a more complex way of studying things.
Hey, who knows?
Could be.
Well, like when you pick up something you've never seen before, you're gonna look at it, right?
That's true.
You need a physical, like, looking at it through camera is never amazing as, like, picking up the rock.
That's true. Okay. I'm convinced. You got me. But you know what this story also reminded me of? One more quick little thing. Remember the story you read me a couple Encounters episodes ago that like actually terrified me so bad? Like I would have nightmares about it?
The graveyard one?
The graveyard one.
That one's still the best one, I think.
That is
we've
still the
done.
best story I've heard on our Encounters episodes, which Tyler, and for everyone that hasn't listened to that episode,
Listen!
I don't know which episode it was now, but one of our early Encounters episodes where they saw some teenagers just messing around, saw some creature that was very skinny, gray, like, looked like a gray, but it had the most lifeless...
Didn't it have a prism head? Or was that... Am I mixing
remember.
up two
I think
of
you're
them?
mixing that up. It had the most... All I remember for sure was that she said it had the most lifeless eyes that you could ever imagine. Like, literally, it was like staring at depression in the face. Are you okay?
Yeah.
No, like, I don't know. It's hard to articulate it without reading the actual story.
I should read
but
it to you.
It's pretty freaking terrifying because it, like, actually messed me up. Like, I thought about it at night and just the way she described it. And things started happening after that because she felt like it was beckoning her to come back into the cemetery. She'd have dreams about it. Just some weird creature that you only see it if you want to see it also. Like, you have to prove that you want to see it.
It's weird.
It's really hard to explain, but it's, like, one of the creepiest things I've ever heard before in my life.
All right. We'll cut
yeah.
it there. Thanks for watching, people. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Give out a special thanks to Tyler for tagging along. He was a little bit talkative today. He might have taken the limelight enough. But,
Thanks for listening.
And
if you're
laughing.
listening, because Eric said thank you for watching.
I was making fun of Tyler for waving at the microphone.
Sure you were.
I was.
Sure.
So, thanks for watching and thank you for listening. Check us out on paranormalaf.com, Facebook at Paranormal Partners, and Instagram at Paranormal Partners. We
Yep.
also have merch.
Send us your ghost stories on our Facebook page or Instagram. We'll read them on
And
our podcast. And Tyler's single, so we'll drop his @
Wait.
in the
Oh, yeah,
notes
Tyler's
of this
single.
episode.
And as always, contact the dead, brush your teeth, go to bed. Yeah!